Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Lostlegendstv, we are
Ready to MC.
And I'm Ray.
And I'm James.
Let me tell you how it's about to go. Let me show you the towel you're about to throw. This is hip-hop, try to run in our house. We'll knock your ass straight out the door. I'm the enemy's epitome, the fantasy, my tendency to mentally give your career the death penalty. I instantly advise you to match my intensity.
We're still on the supernatural bracket. And we're now going, Paranormal Activity is the 3 seed, Amityville Horror is the 6 seed.
For our last video, please go back and rewatch that one. We did The Conjuring versus Insidious.
And it legit, could have gone one way, but it came down to the actual last part of it.
Yep.
The first one we did where we did all 5 categories.
So Paranormal Activity follows 2 characters. One being Katie, which you see her throughout the whole entire franchise, and Micah. They move into a new house, and Katie claims that this demon has been following her around ever since she was a child. Eventually she gets bit, and she winds up killing Micah. And this is like not like a found footage, but it's kind of like a found footage.
It's basically a found footage. It's not.
And that's a theme that carries on throughout the whole entire franchise as well.
And then you've got Amityville Horror, which focuses on the DeFeo murders, like actual murders that took place in this one house in Long Island, right? Mm-hmm. The Amityville house. And the whole first film is about the family, like George going crazy, stuff happening, and the wife thinks that something's happening. And basically you can see George kind of slowly get more and more possessed until he just fucking goes crazy. He attempts to kill his family, but he doesn't actually get it. And there's no actual repeating characters throughout the franchises, because the first one was based on the actual events. Everything else was more like a cash grab. Let's just keep going with it. All the Paranormal Activities, which one do you think had the best plot? It kind of caught you.
I'm gonna have to say the original.
The first one?
Just because it's so simplistic and it's to me it's more terrifying. Somebody you fucking love, somebody that you, hey, you're so committed. Hey, you go buy a house and they're starting to act weird, and a lot of people won't believe you if you say, hey, this demon's following me around.
I feel that.
And then one day you just fucking wake up and she's standing by your bed.
Okay, what's the worst one out of the one? Because I feel like it's 6.
I was definitely 6 because the ghost dimension, it has, like we said, some bad CGI.
Some bad CGI. Awful. One dude dies because of burns. No, she vomits blood, it kills her. And then she vomits blood onto the dude and it burns him.
Fucking Brian gets killed by this large arm that comes out of his chest out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's so fucking bad.
It moves throughout the franchise. It gets a little more unrealistic and unrealistic.
Yeah. So, and if we switch it over to Amityville Horror, the first one and then the 5th one on our list, which is the remake, are basically the same. It's the same movie. It's the same movie, just different actors told differently. I feel like I'm a little more partial to the remake.
Well, Ron Reynolds had a good performance.
Ron Reynolds did great. I mean, I feel like people didn't like it, but
I like it.
I'll say the remake was probably the best one, but they're both the same plot, story, and I like those. The worst one is 4.
Yeah, let's talk about 4
by
for a second.
far. 4 is based around a possessed lamp in the house. I don't know how the fuck that got through.
How did they get approval?
I don't know. So there's literally one part where a plumber gets killed by the lamp. I think he drowns. The lamp drowns him in tar, then makes his car drive away
like nothing ever fucking happened.
Like he just wasn't there.
Oh, no.
A lamp has to cover his tracks.
Extremely fucking shitty.
That's fucking garbage.
If we were to put all these together, that's what we're coming down to. So overall, which one do you think has the better storylines or consistency or whatever? Let's do a 3 count.
Let's do a 3 count.
All right, 1, 2, 3. Paranormal Activity. I mean, 4 is so fucking bad at Amityville Horror. It's not even close for me.
At least Paranormal Activity takes the main character. I know 5 and 6 kind of don't focus on the main character.
Even though Katie is in all of them, yeah.
They build upon the original.
Yeah, and it stays consistent, the whole thing. The first Amityville Horror is about the family murders. Then another family moves in, and then like there's some like weird incest shit. But it's still a family, and they're murdered in the house. It's a possession type thing. 3 is different because like the main dude is just oblivious to fucking signs, and then 4 is just god fucking awful. And then 6, it wasn't bad. Like the one with Bella Thorne and dude from The Shameless, it wasn't bad. It could have been a lot better. It also had the dad from 70s Show.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember his fucking name.
What are you talking about?
That pisses me off.
But it was one of the better ones.
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all. But overall, so the first one, gotta give it to Paranormal Activity. Now we're moving on to the box office scores.
Again, this is out of our control.
Over the entirety of the Amityville Horror, like we couldn't get numbers for the 4th one, so I doubt it made money for real.
So we called it even.
We just called it even. But there was not one film that didn't at least make its money back. So that's positive. The overall gross for all the Amityville Horror movies was $181.2 million. Of course, the 5th one made the most money, the remake.
Yeah, because again, it's modern and Ron Reynolds.
Yes.
You know?
All right.
So, Paranormal Activity, every film in the franchise made a shit ton of money.
Including the first one, which made the budget was only $215,000, and they made almost $200 million.
Yeah, no shit. And that's more than
Which,
fucking
spoiler
Amityville.
alert, that should give you away.
But the total gross of the Paranormal Activity franchise, they grossed $860,290,000.
So, another clear win for Paranormal Activity. That's 2-0.
It's 2-0.
And
again, this is out of 5, so
and now we're doing critical response. Another thing we're out of our hands. Critical response from just IMDb critics in general. For Amityville Horror, 4.32 out of 10. The highest being 6.3, which was the original, the first one, and the lowest being surprisingly not 4 but 2, which was like 3.2.
So Paranormal Activity, the critical response is 5.27 out of 10. Of course, in a lot of situations, the first one had the highest. It was a 7.01 out of 10, which is really good.
That is.
Compared to like all the research we did throughout the franchise, this is high up there.
It's one of the highest.
You know? And the worst, which we talked about earlier, is 6.
Yeah.
And it had a 3.63 out of 10.
Now we go on to audience score. And this is the only thing that could possibly save the Amityville from a sweep right now, because they have to win that for us to split it into a tie. The audience score for Amityville Horror is 22%. That's really fucking bad.
It's terrible.
The highest, of course, still is the first one, because it's hard to top the original. Like even the remake only had like 23%. The lowest scored one, again, weirdly wasn't 4 for some reason. It was 3. Now I want you to notice that 3 is pretty bad. All right, it's like there's like a scene where like a fucking demon jumps out of a like I don't even know how to explain, like a well sort of, but not a well. It's in the basement for some reason, and it kills this one guy. It's super fucking weird. But 4 is so fucking bad. I don't know how it wasn't the lowest. It was 11%, but 3 was 5.
Which a disclaimer, like we don't exactly agree with some of these numbers,
and you'll see later when we get to it.
Again, we're giving the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
So. On the Paranormal Activity, the audience score / response is a 47.67%. The best one, again, was the original, a whopping 83%, which is really good for a fucking horror movie.
That's really good.
The worst one was 6, the Ghost Dimension, at a whopping 14%.
Yeah.
So basically, that last one wasn't even fucking necessary.
It wasn't.
Whatsoever.
But, in this bracket, that means Paranormal Activity gets our first sweep. They cruise past Amityville Horror into the next round, where they will take on the winner of Final Destination and VHS.
I'm kind of upset about it, because like I love Amityville Horror at heart.
Yeah.
But I mean, we can't control it.
No. Now, and here's the thing, like, I feel like if we got the kills, it'd have been fairly even, because there's not a lot of, like, creative kills in Paranormal Activity.
Yeah, like, there's, like, hardly any.
There's hardly any.
Like, the first 3 or 4.
And at least in the Amityville Horrors, you got the DeFeo murders. And then the remake, they really, like, show it. Like, they show some, like, brutal murders and that shit. And then if we just somehow got to the fearfulness, I don't know where I would go with this, because...
They're both kind of the same premise.
It's basically, I don't know. I feel like I would be a little more terrified in the Amityville, because, like, just like the slow, like, gradual loss of yourself. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that would be a lot worse than.
Well, on the contrary, though, the same thing happened to Katie.
True. But I feel like hers came more of an, like, not all of a sudden, but, like...
Quicker?
It was quicker for her. You know what I mean? It just, and then she was just that for the rest of the franchise. But, like, George just... The longer he stayed in that house...
The fucking worse he got.
The worse.
So if you had to consider the whole franchise in fearfulness, which one do you think's the worst? Like, going from, like... Because, like, Amityville goes from possession... all the way to fucking lamps.
Still possession.
And versus Paranormal Activity, where you have a possessed Katie, which grows like a fucking cult of these motherfuckers.
I still think I would be way worse scared with Amityville. Like I said, that would have been the only one I think I would have got. If we got a 5, Amityville would have probably took this. If we somehow made it to 5, Amityville would have took it from me.
I don't know, because... I think I'll be more afraid of Paranormal Activity.
I feel you. We just flipped a coin in that situation. But we ain't made that far.
Because hear me out. Even if you escape, that once, they're going to follow you.
I get you. I'm just talking about in the actual situation. Like, if I was in the actual Amityville horror house, I feel like I would be more scared if I was in the house that was possessed by Katie. Or the demon that possessed Katie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you there.
Like, yes, I can escape the house and I'll be fine. And even if it wasn't me, like, say it was you losing yourself, I'm, like, trying to convince, like, our friends, or, like, I'm trying to convince Jess, hey, look, he's losing it. We need to get him the fuck out the house. If they're not following me, like, eventually, like, I'm going to make a mistake, and then you're just going to do the whole bar the fucking doors and shit and run through us.
Fucking come through with a shotty.
Exactly. But
so, I mean, a Paranormal Activity takes it. They fought the good fight. But I mean,
Amityville didn't fight a good fight. I mean, that's a sweep, bro.
It is a sweep, but I mean, like, for the most part, if I had to pick a franchise to win, it wouldn't be Paranormal Activity.
It would not. Like, overall, like, no, like, it wouldn't even be like on my list.
But again, like fearfulness, I would be more afraid of Paranormal Activity, because like throughout the franchise, like, you have a fucking cult following, like, the motherfuckers follow you. But again, like, it's the fact that this is fiction, that's not in the first one. I mean, that's fucking terrifying. Just imagine, like, dude, what if you was, like, one of the fucking DeFeo's dad? You know what I'm saying? You're just at home one day enjoying, your fucking life, and you're in
Went
bed.
to sleep, and
you never woke up because you got shot in the head by your fucking son.
The whole family got ran through.
That's fucking terrifying, man.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I would definitely be more terrified of that. But that's it for this one. So next one we'll do is we found that session VHS to finish out the supernatural part of the bracket, and then we can get to the winners of that, and then we'll move on to another one. So check out Final Destination VHS tomorrow.
That's gonna be a good one.
Let us know what you feel like. Do you think Amityville should have took it? Are we out? Are we wrong? I mean, we can't control box office critical reception, but are we wrong about the plots or whatever? Do you think it was better? Let us know.
Yep.
Tell us we just messed your bracket up or whatever. I don't think we did. Just let us know.